Hi everyone, my name is Bree Paisley, and today I want to talk about how I got started publishing books, how I got started writing books, what inspired me to write my books. So I guess a little bit of backstory. My husband is in the Air Force, so whenever I first started officially writing my debut, we were stationed in Minot, North Dakota. It's literally 2 hours away from the Canadian border, and I really enjoyed being in Minot. I met a lot of great people there and got back involved with reading again. And it was, the place where I started really focusing on writing books because I've always wanted to write. I've always enjoyed reading. I journaled a lot at a young age, and writing was always something that was just a dream. It was something that I always thought I might do one day. So when we were stationed there, I finally just said, you know what, let's just do it. So I started writing my debut novel, which is Worshipped, and it took me 2 years to write that book. So when I first started, I was only writing just every once in a while, mainly when I felt really inspired to write, because I was working as a cake decorator. And cake decorating is also another one of my passions. And so I was more focused on my cake decorating career, and I wasn't writing enough to consider myself being a full-time author. So the inspiration for Worship came from a TV show that I love and I still watch to this day, and the show is The Vampire Diaries, and I'm sure many of you have seen it, have watched it. I actually rewatched all of the seasons not that long ago, and so I was really inspired because the main heroine, Elena, she falls in love with the guy, one of the main heroes, and she's also falls in love with the brother. And I love Vampire Diaries, and I like that they try to do like the love triangle thing, but I was like, okay, why can't she just be with both? You can love more than one person, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna write a book about it. So while I was watching The Vampire Diaries, I started having a lot of thoughts about, okay, well, I want to write a book or read a book or see a show that, a woman can be in love and be in a relationship with two men, and it would be fine, it's acceptable. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, I really just want to write a book about it. And I kept dreaming about it, kept thinking about it. I mean, every free moment I was always thinking about this book. And so one day I was like, you know what, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And I sat down and I started writing, and I haven't stopped. And it did take me 2 years to finish Worshipped, and that's mainly because I was working full-time, and we also got stationed in Germany. So we packed up and we moved to Germany, and it took us a while to get kind of settled in Germany because, it was kind of a culture shock. I'm from a very teeny tiny town in Mississippi, so I wasn't necessarily used to, especially being moved away from my family at the time, and I didn't know anyone. We were in a different country. I didn't know German, so I was kind of in a whole new element, and I didn't really know how to handle it in a way. But I would say it was probably 6 months after we moved to Germany, and we got really settled, and my husband got deployed. So that was kind of a bummer, but I thought I handled it pretty well, because during that time, I got into writing more. I wrote and published a lot of books in that time frame. So while he was deployed, I got really into writing. I found out more about self-publishing because I had no idea what that even was. I didn't even know self-publishing was a thing. I had no idea. And I owe that a lot to one of my best friends, who is also my sister-in-law. She was really submerged into the indie community, and she was a blogger, and she really helped me start my career in a way, because she was like, because she had read my book when I finished, or she had read snippets while I was finishing it, and she actually helped me work out the plot holes in the story and how to make it all come together. So my friend, she was really the stepping stone for me into the publishing world, because I had no idea. I didn't know what self-publishing was. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what to do. And she really helped me, figure it out. So in 2015, I published my debut novel, Worshipped, and I was so excited. Like, it was just one of those things where I felt so accomplished. I was nervous as all get out, because I'd never written a book before. I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I just knew that I had this story that needed to come out. And the thing about it was, as soon as I hit publish on my first book, it was like, this is what I was supposed to have been doing my entire life. Like, yes, I have other passions. Like, I still love to decorate cakes. I still love to read books. I still like to paint, but writing books is just it for me. It was one of those moments where it was kind of like the big light bulb goes off, and you're just like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And since I published Worshipped in 2015, I have written and published 7 other books. 2 out of the 7 are actually in the process of being re-edited and recovered, so they will be republished. But I did publish 7 books. I've also have been in an anthology, and I have 2 more books that will be in an anthology in the coming months. I have so many projects coming out. I actually have a book due to release on the 26th of June of this year. I'm really excited to see, my career keep going, and to see what other books I come out with, because, at this point in my career, I do not have a set genre. I think it's good that I write in multiple genres, because that just means that I have an endless supply of readers and fans that I can reach. And the main reason why I wanted to do it that way is because, one, I didn't want to be stuck in one genre. I didn't want my books to become repetitive in that genre. And not only that, but I have so many ideas, and I didn't want to limit myself to where, like for an example, I'm planning to write a paranormal series starting in July, and I didn't want to limit myself to not being able to write stuff like that, because I love paranormal romance, I love fantasy, and like that is my favorite type of book to read. I wanted to write the same genre, and so I write in multiple genres. I have menage, I have dark romance, second chance romance, rom-com, I have single mom erotica. The book that I'm releasing on June the 26th is called Addiction Could Be Considered Erotica, contemporary romance with a little bit of light BDSM. It's kind of a mixture of everything, and I really enjoyed that book. I really enjoyed writing all my books, but my debut was my stepping stone into the world, and I'm very proud of it. I did go back in and couple years ago and I rewrote the entire book. There will be a video about why I did that and why I decided to take down my first series and re-edit and recover them and republish them. But I'm very proud of my first book. I did step into the self-publishing world kind of in a strange genre, because when I first started writing, Menage was very popular. Everybody wanted to read it. It's a genre that people really enjoyed back in 2015. Now not so much. Now it's a little different, but I'm still proud of that book. I still enjoy the story, and to this day I still think about it, because it's one of those books that I feel like will stick with me for the rest of my life. That's my journey so far. I have a lot more books coming, tons of ideas floating around in my mind, and I love the process, except for editing. I don't like the editing process. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to all the books that I plan to write, all the books that I want to publish. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.